Hi, Nikki Wyatt, Karma Coach here. I'm going to talk to you in this video about a range of essences called the Platonic Solid range or the Sacred Geometry range. It's got 5 Platonic solid essences in it and also 3 sacred geometric shapes and 2 combination blends. It's the range contains one essences that will help you if you're stuck, if you're feeling lethargic, if you're struggling to follow through on things. It helps with lots and lots of very common problems and patterns. But the difference about this range is that it works at such a deep, deep level. So if you're interested in really deep transformation, then this is a really good range to look at because you're looking at basically the language of light. It's often called the language of sacred geometry. It is the universal building blocks of life. There is nothing that isn't it doesn't have a foundation of sacred geometry to it. And the 5 Platonic shapes are the 5 shapes that will fit inside a sphere and that have equal uh, length of edges and faces. So, for example, a cube or a pyramid. And these are incorporated. You'll notice if you've ever been to sacred buildings such as cathedrals, or you look up at the ceiling of a cupola in a mosque, or you've perhaps looked at a labyrinth or a mandala, or you've looked at amazing church spires, then they're all made with this sacred geometry in mind. Master stonemasons know all about the law of proportionality and mathematical ratios, and so they have this knowledge passed down and down through the generations of how to use these, especially in sacred spaces. And therefore, when we do use this knowledge, in an essence, we are dealing with you and ourselves at our absolute most fundamental level of building ourselves, if you like. So if you are interested in, if you're a creative person, if you're interested in your own evolution and in dealing with yourself at a real divine blueprint level, then that's what this range, that's the level at which this range will work. The patterns that it deals with are ones that will are things like looping thoughts and negative beliefs and those sort of things, which are going to affect your ability to evolve and to move up the vibrational frequency. So if you want to awaken your dormant psychic abilities, or you want to be able to hold more light, then these shapes and essences are really good ones to look at. So they are working as well, I should say, in your light body, so in your energetic body, which is around you. You can't necessarily see it, some people can. And within that, you've got other subtle bodies within your light body. And that's where these essences will have impact. So they're perhaps less, I would say, less obvious to notice in terms of an emotion. Like you could take an essence called, transforming grief or something, and you would particularly notice that emotion. Whereas I find with these, they are more subtle because they're working in the outer body, but they're also more transformational in some ways because they're working at such a deep level. So when they do change things, they really change things. I really find I look back when I've taken the Platonic Solid essence and something really quite fundamental shifted because when you're working out in this level of your being, you're working at the level of building blocks for your physical body and your mental thought patterns and those sort of things. A lot of people think that because we have a physical body and it's often portrayed as having this kind of glow around it, that we're glowing light from within. Our physical body is the other way around. Our light body actually creates our physical body. So it holds the blueprint from which it holds the information from which we replicate ourselves physically. So working at that level will really change you at so many, as I say, very deep cellular level. So the very first one to talk about is I'm going to talk about the five Platonic solid essences first in this video, and then I'll move on in a second video to talk about the sacred geometry and the combination blends, which include Metatron's cube. So the first one of the five Platonic essences is tetrahedron, which is basically a pyramid. And this is a really good one to take if you are dithering, if you're procrastinating, if you really struggle to complete things. You start off and then you lose interest or you lose enthusiasm, or you are perhaps feeling quite disconnected, quite lethargic. You can't be bothered to even get going, because the tetrahedron essence and shape is all about the element of fire. And as you can imagine, fire is very yang. It's all about action. Let's get going. Really helps you follow through. It's quite a masculine energy. So it's all about dynamism, and it's all about the energy of creation. So you can use it if you're wanting to start a project, you want to get things going around something. It's a great one. It's a great one to take to focus the energy of that and get it off the ground. And it will support you also if you want to deep change within yourself, you want to explore your potential. It'll help you get really clear mentally about what it is you want, helps you therefore to make decisions with greater confidence, and it helps you hold some cosmic truths, because you're much more quite literally fired up. The next one is a hexahedron, and that's really basically a cube. If you imagine a dice, or a die, that's a hexahedron. And the element that the hexahedron relates to is earth. So this is a really good essence if you are feeling that you're sitting in a situation that is really quite chaotic. Things are slipping out of your control, everything's going off in different directions, and you need structure. And that's when hexahedron can really help. It's relating to focus, to bringing creative projects into physical form. It connects your energetic structure to the structure of the earth, and therefore it's quite grounding, and it helps you to connect with where we come from, where we live really on planet Earth. It's also very good if you don't have a clear kind of shape for an idea. You've got the idea, but it's a bit wispy and in your head, and you need to ground that idea and give it something to actually look at and be solid. Then this is a good one. And also, if you are in a situation where you feel quite trapped, quite boxed in, if you imagine there are sort of invisible bars around you, and you don't feel you can get out of a particular situation, this essence will help you to both step out of that feeling of being trapped and also help you to see it from a different perspective with higher wisdom. Then the third one is octahedron, and this is, if you can imagine, this has got a pyramid above and a pyramid below. So it's all about as above, so below. So it's about balance and about harmony, and the element that it relates to is air. It particularly relates to thoughts and the higher mind. It's a really great one if you're feeling there's a lot going on around you. If you're, for example, an empath, this is an essence I would look at, because it's when you are constantly being pulled out of your center by what's going on around you, other people's emotions and lots of sort of intense feeling, then you can step away from your own core. And this essence will help you to reconnect with your strong center. And if you can imagine the sort of pyramid above and the pyramid below is almost like a protection around you, that shape. So it keeps you more centered and less likely to get pulled into other people's dramas. It can also really help you to connect with your inner child, and therefore the qualities of that, the positive qualities of your inner child. So playfulness, spontaneity, magic, magical way of looking at life and the miracles that can happen. So if you're also aware of being a bit over serious, that life's all got a bit about duty and it's all a bit dull and grown up, and you need a bit of lightness, then this is a great one for lightening things up. The next one is dodecahedron, not an easy one to say. The element that this relates to is ether or spirit. It's all about the divine. The shape of it is the shape of the Christ conscious grid, which is around the earth, and also the shape that surrounds each of us in our energy field around ourselves in our energy body. It's the outer layer. So this will help you to see beyond our 3D existence. So it's a really good one if you want to explore, if you like, your connection to your divinity. And because it will help you take you into more 5D kind of way of looking at things. It holds divine will, it holds female energy, it gives you a real feeling of unity consciousness. So instead of seeing things in black and white or in binary, if you like, a way of looking at the life, it's helping you to see everything as interconnected. So it puts you in touch with oneness. So if you're feeling isolated or there's a lot of conflict either within you or outside you, or you're aware of having a pattern of judgment, then this is a great one. And it's also a really nice one to take before meditation, because obviously it's going to help you really connect very, very deeply with your own divinity. And the fifth one is the icosahedron. And this is connected to the element of water, one of my favorites. It's all about the flow of life, feminine creativity, your emotions. You probably know from dreams and things like that how much water relates to emotion. And so it's a really good one, this one, to take if you're feeling emotionally stuck. If you feel you're in some kind of story or thought pattern that you're aware of, but you can't seem to stop, this will help to interrupt that and to take you back to a new way of thinking, because this is all about a start of a new consciousness, this shape. And it promotes creativity and flexibility and movement. You can imagine water, it's spiraling around, it's vortexing, it's bouncing off things. It's an amazing substance. So it will flow in to your energy body and bring in light. So if you are, as I say, stuck in looping thoughts or something like that, then it will help to interrupt that and bring light in and help you to find a different way of seeing things, and a new path, a new way will open up. So those are the 5 Platonic solids, and in the next video, as I mentioned, I will be looking at sacred geometry and Metatron's cube and exciting other ones. So thank you for staying with me on this one, and I will see you in the next one, I sincerely hope. And I will be putting the discount code and the link if you want to order any of these underneath the video. Thanks for listening.